Amazing. Okay, so coming down to the floor. Our seated C curve. Coming into a sort of quite strong abdominal section, this next bit. So thinking about the C curve, creating that curve in the shape of your spine and then using it. So we're going to use it for our rocking abdominals and then also for single leg stretch. So the movement from here, nice and upright on the sit bones, hands behind the knees, feet and knees are facing forwards, taking this really big pelvic tilt. And it's such a big pelvic tilt, if I go a little bit more sideways, it's such a tuck under, strong tuck under and a real scoop of my tummy that it makes my back round. It's not that I'm going back here. In fact, if you think about taking your shoulders back, you tend to go in a straight line. So really nice and upright, face this way, really nice and upright, round that spine, round that lower back until you can't go any more. That will make the upper back naturally curve into this C shape. Stay there a moment, drawing everything in, and then stay in this shape. Shoulders are over your hips as you round forwards, and then I want you to sit up nice and tall. As you sit up tall, today we're going to straighten out the legs in front of you. You're going to reach up to the ceiling, flex the feet and lengthen forwards. This is strong old stretch on the hamstrings. From here, imagine someone's got hold of your waistband, the belt around your waist, and they're pulling you back. There's that same scoop. So this time I've kept my legs straight. I'm going to bring my arms in, sort of brush past my face. Think of this shape you're making like a wave, and then we're reaching up to the ceiling, really trying to lift up, just lifting, so I'm sitting right up on those sit bones, flexing the feet and rolling forwards, and then scooping back. Arms are parallel. Bring those arms in a little bit. Even this itself is quite strong on those abdominals. Taking the arms up, lifting that back up towards the ceiling. Your favourite film star is about to come down through the ceiling and rescue you. You really want to make that contact there. It hasn't quite happened, so we're here. We're going to add a leg into this movement. So as you're rolling back, draw one knee in. So I'm nice and rounded, nothing's changed, I've just brought this leg with me. And then I'm going to extend that leg. Makes this wonderful diagonal line, but it's not difficult because my pelvis is completely tucked under. So even if you've got quite tight hamstrings, this should work for you. From there, as I lower that leg, I'm going to lift up to the ceiling and then flex the feet and roll forwards. Rounding the back, feet are pointed here. Draw that knee in and extend. Beautiful straight leg, beautiful pointed foot. Lower the leg up towards the ceiling, lift up, flex and roll through. Two more, alternating which leg you lead with. So we're here. The angle of my arms is mirroring the angle of the legs. Lifting that chest up, flexing all the way through. Hopefully this is getting a little bit easier each time. Don't worry if it's not. We're here. And extending that leg up to the ceiling, flexing and rolling all the way forwards. Double legs if you can. Draw those knees in. So because I've rounded, I've tilted, I'm on my sacrum, not my sit bones anymore. It's quite a strong position, like you're rolling like a ball. We're here, both legs extended. And then, as those legs lower, actually feels quite nice. And then lengthening all the way forwards. Two more of those. Draw those knees in and extend. They don't have to be too high. Keep that pelvis tucked under here. You could stick with the singles all the way up to the top. Flex. One more. If you haven't tried doubles, give it one last go. Maybe just stopping here, scoop that tummy, and up, lift, 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 lift. flex and roll forwards. Good job. Hopefully that stretch got a little bit better each time. Into rocking abdominals. This is an interesting one. This is quite tough. Again, you're going to tuck that pelvis under. You're going to create that C curve in your back. It's like, it's called rocking abdominals. It's like you're creating the shape of a rocking horse legs, that scoop in your torso. You have to take that scoop, hands at the backs of the legs. I'm straightening out my arms. I'm keeping my legs where they are. I've fixed that position. I can't go any further, and then I'm just allowing my lower back to touch the floor. My legs are dangling, and they're quite heavy. And then the movement is here. So try not to think about coming up. What I don't want to see, what you shouldn't be happening, is any change. So no change in the angle here by bringing these legs in. No change in the arms. Arms are fixed. My body proportions, long body, I don't know, whatever it is, works quite well for me here. You might find that your arms need to be slightly bent, but these angles don't change. So I can even do it here, but that's really tough. Then we're going to hug one knee in. My back is still in that same shape. We're going to take single leg stretch. I'm hanging on for dear life for this knee. I'm using it so the shin, I've pulled the knee in, I'm compressing in my hip joint. The shin is parallel to the floor. My feet are at the same height. I'm using this to help me keep my back rounded and also to keep my chin, my head above my shoulders, not back here. And then swap legs. Try and do the same amount of time on the other side. Fixing this position, draw this knee in towards your shoulder, hang on. I haven't got time to interlace fingers, I'm clinging on for dear life. But essentially think about the shape of your back. It should be the same. And then let's take 4 switches, 4 single leg stretches. I think that was 4. Then I'm going to take my legs back into this position. Feet are dangling. 6 rocks. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 single leg stretch. 4, 5, 6. 2 more sets. Let those legs dangle. Set the position of your back. We try and relax that neck. 3 more. I've lost count. Think about the shape of your spine. 6 here. Nothing has changed. 5, 6. I think I did an extra one there. 1 more set. I lied. We're going to add 3 more. We're going to add our oblique twist to single leg stretch. This time we're going to take 10. So turning the shoulder, opposite shoulder to the knee. Stay up, pull that knee in, hang on to that knee. That's 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm rotating my shoulders. Shoulder blades are clear. Last 2, 9, 10. Hand, have a little relax. Let those legs go from side to side. Is anyone else hot? Or is it just me? I've got the window open. But I feel like we're working quite hard today, I feel. Good. Abdominals, done, out the way. Think about that C curve of that spine if you haven't done that one before. Let's come on to a side bridge. So you're going to be on your elbow. Make sure this elbow is underneath your shoulders and legs are bent, heels are in line with your butt. Just allow yourself to collapse down, thinking, oh, this is a nice easy exercise. But whilst you're doing that, check that your hips are stacked and then lift your rib cage up and away and out of the floor, working this underneath side. This is strong work on the shoulder and it's also strong work on the big muscles in the sides of your back, which are very important. We're just going to lift the hips up And actually, if I face you this way, so here we were, relaxed. I've lifted the rib cage up. I'm going to lift my hips up enough so that pubic bone, spine, nose, out through the top of my head is now in a straight line. Here, my hips are a little bit lower, even though I've got that chest lifted. So chest lifted, just lifting the hips up enough to come into this straight line. This underneath elbow will start to drift away. Keep it tucked in and really underneath. So from here, lifting the hips up, lowering to hover the hips and lift the hips up. Maybe let's take this arm up to the ceiling, lifting the hips up. Not a very big movement. Hover when you lower. 2 more. Watch that this neck doesn't get tense. I'm letting my ear relax down. So my head is not too lifted there. Holding the hips up so you're in this nice straight line. Straighten that top leg. Hold the arm up if you can. Top of the foot and the knee are facing forwards. You're going to lift and lower that leg. About 10 times if you can. Keep lifting that underneath side rib cage. Holding that there. Good. Can you stay up with those hips? We're going to thread the needle. Watch me first if you've never done that. The arm goes through. I rotate my shoulders. I touch the floor. Fingertips touch the floor behind me. Take a big breath in when you're there and return. Here we go. 3 of these. Staying up with the hips. Breathing as I go through, holding it here for a breath in. Continue that breath in. Last one, breath out. Hold it there, breath in. Breath in and lower. Very strong work on the shoulder. Good job. We're going to open up that shoulder in a moment. So all onto the other side. Make sure you tuck this elbow in so it's really underneath that shoulder. Allow the rib cage to just collapse and then lift it up. Hold it up. Feet are in line with your butt. Knees are stacked. Hips are stacked. Arm is up to the ceiling. We're just lifting the hip up so it's in line. Feels a bit uncomfortable on my elbow this side. If you wanted to just have a little bit of padding, feel free. So not too much padding. Hovering the hip when you lower. I'm not a big fan of cushions and loads of extra padding. I like you to try and use the muscles and your body as it should be used, as opposed to having a prop, because it just gets, your body gets reliant on it, reliant on the prop being there all the time. Holding those hips up if you can. I think we did 5 there. Straightening that top leg. Lifting up that rib cage. This is my weakest shoulder, so it's hard work. Lifting and lowering. Trying to think about touching the ceiling. Trying to relax this underneath side with the head and the neck. No turning out with this leg. Keep it parallel. Top of your knee, or your knee and the top of your foot facing forwards. Good. And then threading the needle 3 times. Big breath in. Lift that rib cage. Stretch through. Rotate through. Hold it there. Breathe in. And come back to the start. Breath in. Breath out. Legs and hips stay fairly still. Breathe in there. Feel that stretch between the shoulder blades. Lifting up. Last one. Breath out. I feel like I'm wringing out my lungs a little bit. Stretch fingertips touching the floor. Hold it there. Breath in. All the way back to the centre. And down. Collapse down and lower. Brilliant. I was going to do shoulder clocks, but I'm going to pass on that one today. I'll put that in tomorrow's class, I think. So let's go on to lying on your tummy for working on the back of the shoulder, because I want to finish off with some quite big movements. You're going to need to have your arms out to the side for this one. I might just bring myself over this way a little bit. Hopefully you can still see me. I can't see myself in the mirror. But we're going to start in the traditional dart position. So when you've come from this position, your back was in extension. Connect that rib cage to your hips a little bit. Lift your hips up, lift your legs up. Let's put the big toes together. Let your heels drop out to the side. Bring your arms down by your side. Just take the tip of your nose to just be hovering off the floor. Allow your shoulders to collapse completely. So you're lying on your tummy, palms are up to the ceiling, backs of my hands are heavy, arms are heavy, and I've allowed my shoulder tips, the front edge of my shoulders, to completely round and collapse onto the floor. Try and notice, I'm just wiggling them about a little bit, notice whether you're even. Again, if you're tighter side, it might be a little bit lifted up. Try and get them to both be brushing the floor if you can, or at the same height. Keep the chin tucked in, back of the neck lengthened. All we're going to do is lift the shoulder tip up so that it's in line. Imagine your collarbone is a bendy pole. You're allowing it, when the shoulder tips are touching the floor, you're allowing it to round, and then when you're lifting those shoulder tips up, you're turning it into a non-bendy pole, and it's a straight line across from one side to the other, parallel to the floor. Allow it to round, so making a curve if you like, and then straighten it out. So the muscles I want you to think about here and focus on are the muscles around the shoulder blades, on the sort of outside edge of your shoulder blades. Try not to lift your elbows up, and try not to use the backs of your arms too much. They will move and they will join in, but try and make the focus here around the shoulder blades. This is all our scapular stability stuff. Let's just open up the legs to hip width apart. And now we're going to take the arms out to the side if you can. So at a right angle to the body. And I'm going to let my shoulders again relax a little bit. I'm going to lift my back and my head up a little bit more now. So I'm sort of on my bottom 3 or 4 ribs. And then come onto your fingertips with your hands. So fingertips sort of make spiders there. And then from here, pushing the pubic bone into the mat a little bit, connecting at the front of the body, I'm going to lift my whole arm and lower. In fact, I'm going to stretch those fingertips away, so nice flat hands. But I'm lifting and lowering. I'm not sure if you can see me, and I'm a little bit wonky. I'm going to go here so that I'm not wonky. I feel like I'm a lopsided in my spine. So from here, I'm lifting to the height of my body, my torso, which is about there, and then I'd like you, if you can, to try and go a little bit higher, and then just brush the fingertips to the floor. Lift and lower. I'm pushing my pubic bone into the mat. I'm drawing my belly button in. I'm lengthening my crown of my head, top of my head forwards, feeling like it's all the muscles around and between the shoulder blades that are drawing the shoulder blades or the shoulder tips sort of towards each other. I'm not scrunching. It's like I'm drawing curtains in towards the centre. The centre where the curtains are going to meet is the spine. Brilliant. Let's finish off with one last one here. I'm going to take my arms down by my side, palms are down. So they're in a low V. This means I can lift my back a little bit more. I'm opening up the shoulder tips a little bit more. I've turned my legs out and I'm softly pointing my feet. Pushing my feet bone into the floor. Just take some golf ball size circles here at your fingertips. Keep that chin tucked in, keep breathing. Little finger is coming in towards the body. And have a good old collapse. Wonderful. Come back up onto all fours. Let's just finish off class today with a good old wiggle about from all fours. So my favourite position to just start rolling around on the floor and exploring and just stretching and moving everything around. So hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Let's take some spine circles. So vertical circles, get that whole spine moving. It's like your spine is a skipping rope. Lift the chest up, take it out to the side, let it drop down to the floor, and then to the other side as it goes up and over. Change direction. Let's take the hips from side to side, shortening in your waist. So I'm keeping my shoulders fairly still. It's almost like a dog wagging its tail, shortening in the waist. Hold it to one side and then turn your head and shorten even more in this side, like you're trying to look at your foot on that side. Comes through the centre, shorten. So I'm really shortening on one side, I'm trying to lengthen the other side. And come back to the centre. Circling round, horizontal circles now. Spread the fingers and the thumbs. We didn't really do any all fours work today. So just stress through those wrists a little bit. Take the pressure through your shoulders. So this one, the torso stays relatively still, in the same shape. Knees, hips, wrists, elbows, shoulders, all exploring that range of movement. From here, curling the toes under, lift your hips up, push your chest back through your arms if you can. Bring your shoulders over your hands, lower both knees with control. And again, lift up, push back. You don't have to have straight legs, but it will help. Let's this time relax the feet, stretch the hips all the way back on the heels, stretch the arms forwards, take a slightly mad sway from side to side. Rolling up through the spine if you can, coming to here. Well done everyone, let's leave that there today. So I will be repeating this class this evening. So Pilates Class B is at 6 o'clock this evening. If you wanted to join me again, hopefully we don't have the blip this time. Or you wanted to recommend it to someone else, that will be live at 6 o'clock. And then tomorrow's class is a Pilates Class C, and that starts at midday for an hour. And Pilates C is a little bit slower paced, much more focus on technique, which might suit you. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you again.